I expressed in my remarks, which I made a few minutes ago. Basically, on this particular visit to the United States, our goal is to make sure that our message is very clearly heard by the United States people, the government, that Lithuania has very clear vision and determination to become the full-fledged member of the Western society, and at the same time is ready to enter the European Union. I believe that in Washington I will have the opportunity to speak to the highest levels of the administration. Here it was a great opportunity to speak to the leaders of the business community, the leaders of the industrial world, and I hope that my message inviting them to join Lithuania in our economic development programs will be heard, and we will welcome the Illinois business people to join Lithuania's economy just as well. I'm ready for questions.
What other cities in the United States will you be traveling to?
Basically, I will be right in Chicago here, so I'm here, and the next stop will be in Washington, D.C.
Will you have a similar message in Washington, D.C.? Will you be speaking to business leaders there as well?
I believe so, and on top of it, like I indicated, I will be speaking to the high administration people at that meeting, and additionally, from the environmental point of view, I am being really honored by the Environmental Law Institute, which is going to honor me on Thursday with a special presentation, and I will be receiving the honorary doctor's degree from the University of America.
How it feels to be back in Chicago?
Well, it feels great, because when you see the familiar faces, the people you worked for so many years together, it makes your heart very warm, and I have to admit, it seems like this is the unbroken, continuous relationship.
Mr. President, you gave a very upbeat assessment of the effect of the Russian crisis on Lithuania, sort of comparing Lithuania's position to that of the other European countries. But Lithuania's exposure is much greater to the Russian problem because Lithuanian exports to Russia are 24% last year and have been rising for the last 3 years. Doesn't that then constitute a greater danger than perhaps you mentioned?
I recognize, that this is not a very comfortable position Lithuania is in, except that I want to make a small correction here. Our latest exports to Russia was 20%, so that helps us because definitely it impacts some of the industrial areas, but all in all, so far, we did not feel the negative impact, and we hope, this is going to stay, we can control the situation. If this is going to get worse, I believe this is going to affect not only Lithuania, but the entire Europe just as well, and I think that I would probably call it the Western world, because let us not forget that the Western financing community has probably more than $30 billion already invested in Russia. And I don't believe that this is easily to be forgotten. And I hope, that the Western financial institutions are going to do everything possible to save that kind of investment.
Mr. President, what decline has there been in exports to Russia over the last, say, 6 months?
From Lithuania? Basically on food. And meat products and dairy products, because we were for Moscow and St. Petersburg, we were the main suppliers with those goods. And of course that impacts the most.
Do you have a figure on what percentage of decline?
On Lithuanian economy?
No, the decline in exports to Russia in those areas.
I would say that it's around 11% from all the exports in the food field.
And conversely, has there been drop-off in imports from Russia to Lithuania?
Yes, but on balance, opportunities, the markets are opening up in the different parts of the world where we intensively. And if we succeed, nothing unexpected to say, it's probably the first country after the post-communist era which comes out in those difficult economic times with a balanced budget.
Mr. President, there are so many Lithuanian Americans here in Chicago who still have deep emotional ties. Obviously, they're watching your visit quite closely. What's the single most important thing you'd like to say to them here in Chicago?
I already appealed to them and I said they have contributed a lot in granting the freedom, independence for the people after 50 years. But that commitment and involvement is not over. I believe that we are asking them to be as active as they were before to securing that freedom. That they can do by actually watching the situation as far as the Lithuanians' participation, urging them to actively lobby not only the American administration but other countries of NATO so that opportunity would be provided even for the Lithuanians to join those kind of organizations. And at the same time are urging them to promote that cultural activities, keep up the heritage values in this country, because I feel that their contribution in the overall American cultural life should be as significant as it was before.
What has surprised you the most since you've taken office?
That probably the responsibilities are much bigger than I anticipated.
Mr. President, has your government had any follow-up conversations with NATO or the United States over Lithuania becoming a member of NATO? And if so, what was the substance of those discussions?
Basically what we are talking about, to make sure that the next round of the invitations for the membership in those organizations should not be delayed for 2-3 years. The expansion of NATO should be actively sought, probably even during the next summit, which will be in April in Washington, that not the Poland, Czech Republic and Hungary would be the last ones for a while to be admitted into the organization. And this conversation is going on with the top administration officials, and this is going to be the topic in 2 days, I believe on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, or Thursday, in my meeting at the White House with the President Clinton.
Do you have any concrete grounds for the optimism you expressed that Lithuania would be invited to the accession talks with the EU this December? Because there's been general statements by for example, European Commission people who have said that negotiating with 6 countries even now is so difficult, adding to that number would make it almost impossible for them to complete their task.
I'm basing my optimism on one simple principle. There are the criteria established for the membership to become the members of the European Union. Lithuania has met all the criteria which was actually demanded by other member states. And if this is going to be based fairly on that principle, without any politics, Lithuania is ready for start negotiations for the accession.
Mr. President, our president has had a lot of trouble in the past few months. What has been the reaction of the Lithuanian people to the political troubles here in the United States? What kind of questions have you gotten about that?
No, I don't believe that I'm going to comment about his personal problems here, and probably it will be unethical on my part. I can just respond in general. I believe that in Lithuania that issue has been read about. I don't believe this was a daily discussion. This was not carried as much as it has been carried probably in the United States. And there is a very clear separation of his personal life and the responsibilities as the president, as a leader of the free world. This was very clearly stated, and I believe that the Lithuanians are still consider the President of the United States as a leader of the Western coalition.
Prezidentė šiandieniniame susitikime su Jimu Edgar, kokie buvo svarbiausi dalykai aptarti?
The question was what was discussed in my meeting with Governor Edgar. I actually have appealed to him for very active involvement of the Illinois businessmen, the cultural representatives, because Chicago and the capital of Lithuania, Vilnius, are the sister cities. I believe there is a lot of help that could be provided in that respect, and of course, since we have a difficult time in agriculture, I hope that this is the area where the state of Illinois could provide us with a consultation, experience they have in exchange of specialists, and even opportunities of export-import and agricultural equipment. So those are the areas, and at top of it I was asking him for some assistance in probably administrative areas where we are talking about decentralization of power. We discussed about this famous statement, the Washington doesn't know all the answers, so I am just living by the same concept. I'm telling that the capital of Vilnius doesn't have all the answers to all the Lithuanians, and the self-government is the way to go, and I hope that we can get a lot of consultation in that field.
Did you receive any commitments from those?
We have quite a delegation right here with us, which are meeting with the Illinois representatives in different fields in education and in business and administration. They are meeting this afternoon and tomorrow. So in that respect, yes, I do have this kind of a commitment, and I hope that it's up to them right now to get that counterparts interested in it, and hopefully this will come up with a very concrete projects which we are going to probably implement.
Mr. President, how would you describe the progress and reconciliation that have gone on in Lithuania between the pro-democratic forces and the members of the previous communist government?
Yeah, it's still the existing problem, but I wouldn't call this as a big problem. Its magnitude is such that people are concerned and care about more about the daily issues. People are concerned about the future jobs, perspectives. Like one of the probably younger members stated, it was well reflected in the press. I mean, past is a past. We already turned that page. Let's look into the future. And the reconciliation definitely is probably will be some elements of probably, I don't know, percentage-wise, I even wouldn't dare to project, but there will be a time until, I mean, those feelings will probably evaporate. One thing is clear. I mean, nobody is going to wipe out from the memory 50 years of atrocities. People who lost their family members in Siberia, prisons, concentration camps, definitely are going to remember that. But I looked from different perspective, and I believe I'm reflecting more or less the feeling of majority that we are not going to gain anything by revenge, by hatred. We learned a bitter lesson, and let's work together for the better future.
Well, thank you very much for it. Been very, very well done. It was That's my job. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Good. Labas, malonu. Usual, everything works fine. Lygiai nieko, po truputį. Ačiū. Po truputį bandom.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, it's true.
Helping out, restoration
Yeah, and I believe our relationship in Poland never have been better than it is right now. Poland is totally
Tai dabar jūs muškitės, ar ką daryti, kaip stovite?
Sakyti kažką. Dabar jau mes nesimušim. O pas pagavai, kur mušėmės, ne?
Kada? Jūs čia mušėtės?
Januškį.
O tikrai jūs pradėjote čia...
Sako, žinai, su rankom.
Su rankom.
Second.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm really delighted to see you again. Now I'd like to present you with a special as an artist. So this is a Madonna, which this is it's done at a cemetery where our people were fighting for freedom. And it's a huge statue built, that's the miniature. It's done by the same artist.
It's recent.
Yeah.
It's a recent creation.
Absolutely, yes.
That's very different. I've never seen anything quite like
Right,
it. Yeah, it's very modern, and yet it's traditional, and it evokes a traditional.
Yeah,
But it's amazing what the lines show, and yet they don't show anything. There's not a face, and yet there is a face.
no, no,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. That will.
Reminds you on our visit.
Well, I'm deeply honored. I'm deeply honored. And I thank you very, very much. It's something I'll treasure. And
Thank you very much.
I really have to thank you. Thank you very, very much. No, I'm honored also that you're back in Chicago, that you find some time to come to see me. Thank you very much. Can we sit down for a few moments? If you're there in my office, that would be...
whatever it's more comfortable for you.
Probably would be. Can I offer you tea or coffee or something?
No, thank you very much.
You probably have to move on.
Oh, in a few.
But if you have a few moments, I'd appreciate it.
Is it with and what is the name? I'm sorry. Can you write it for me?
You can take one of these if you'd like. I have two. Right into your right.
Mr. Travel guys.
You can take one.
Čia jau manęs nebėgtų.
Žiūrėk, kokie svečiai lankosi čia.
Labas. Hi. You can go in like here with one left.
One left, that's it, that's first. Thank you very much.
Sure. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the inaugural meeting of the University of Chicago Political Union for the 1998-99, dedicated to exploring contemporary policy by combining academic and political worlds. Today, we are honored to have with us a very distinguished guest, who is not only a leader of a fledgling democracy, but a member of the Chicago community. President Adamkus was born on November 3rd, 1926 in Lithuania. During World War in 1960, President Adamkus received an engineering degree from the Illinois Institute of Technology. While he was living in the United States, becoming the administrator of the 5th District, which is Midwest. President Adamkus holds honorary doctorate degrees from the University of Vilnius, University of Indiana. President Adamkus was elected President of the Republic of Lithuania. President Adamkus is a champion of the new democratic nations as they re-enter the world community. He continues to be an active spokesman for the environmental politics in the context of common human values, the cause of Lithuania. The speech will be followed by a question and answer session where we invite all of you to ask the questions of the President. Please join me in welcoming the President of Lithuania, President Adamkus.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, distinguished faculty, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by thanking for the invitation to visit. It is gratifying to meet with you in a city to which I am linked with bonds of warm memory. Distance and national borders increasingly lose their primary meaning. I would define our today as the time of dynamically changing appraisal of values. Certainly, comprehension of values has always been subject to changes. The crisis in Russia has certainly demonstrated that Lithuania stands on the other bank of the river. Also, trade with Russia, which amounts about, there is no doubt that it has interests at the eastern littoral of the Baltic Sea.
Your Excellency, President Adamkus, I represent the Lithuanian Evangelical Reformed Church here in Chicago. I am very interested in your quote, the University of Democracy. How do you view the relationship of the church and state in Lithuania with confessions other than the Roman Catholic Church?
I don't believe that we should single out one religion and provide them special privileges. I believe very honestly that all the religions should have the equal right. The people have the equal right for worship. The 50 years of one religious, which was actually restricting any human rights,
was once owned by the churches prior to the communist dominance. How is that process going?
It's underway. Some of the properties already have been returned to the churches. The question sometimes is, how to fairly deal with the properties which have been now used for so many years by others. So we are trying to find.
Attorney Maria Prunskis from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You mentioned that one of the issues that the youth is now facing, or what you hope that the youth will direct itself to, is drug trafficking, arms trafficking, and illegal immigration. Can you expand on that topic?
Yes, I believe that as far as drugs, this is the common global issue which, I believe every country on the earth is trying to control.
Reference to NATO in your address,
you briefly touched on developments between the Polish and Lithuanian military. Could you expand on that, sir?
Yes, sir. At the present time, what we call is a Bold Pole Battalion, which is being formed under the common leadership command, which we are actually participating in a program for peace under the NATO actually structure. Those people are being trained and used for the peacekeeping operations in Bosnia-Herzegovina. We have participated in all those actually actions over there, and right now, the issue, the other Baltic countries probably will have to wait. But I can reassure you that under all the indications we have, the Lithuania is probably first in line for the opening round when the NATO expansion will be granted. If this is going to happen or not, I believe this is going to belong on a general policy, the world policy. But we firmly indicated that Lithuania's foreign policy is to become the members of that organization. NATO as it was before, with the Cold War over, the NATO actually lost its face, or originally the way it was constructed. I looked at the NATO not as some kind of a military might, aggressive or not aggressive, let's put it this, to stop the aggression in Western Europe the way it was originated. I feel that the NATO now is the integrated security system for the entire Europe. And I want to underline the word integrated. I believe if we are talking about a peaceful Europe in the future, we have to provide a system which provides the total security. And I think that this is the system I see right now of cooperating nations under the NATO. And maybe that's too optimistic, but I have already stated and I can repeat in front of you. I hope that the new democratic young Russia, which is going to be committed to the peaceful purposes, one of those days will become the member of NATO just as well.
Thank you.
Become a member of NATO, but I believe that the country, because of its proximity to Russia, is sort of between a rock and a hard place. Are there any specific policies that Vilnius right now is undertaking with Moscow in order to change the situation that Russia would be more congenial to the idea of Lithuania's membership?
Thank you very much. I believe that I can state as follows. I have very clearly indicated to the leaders of Russia in my conversations, phone conversations with Mr. Yeltsin, I stated to him that Lithuania definitely is committed to the good neighborly relationships. We are not joining, or we don't want to join NATO.
Of the personal lives of political leaders is necessary for a healthy government? And also, do you feel that Lithuania's perception of America has changed due to this controversy?
First of all, let me express my personal views. I don't believe that there is nobody's business to get involved in a personal life. Anybody. And as far as the United States and President's role as a president in leadership, the world, I don't believe that the world community, and that includes Lithuania, has changed. We consider that America is in a leadership position that should not, that unfortunate incident should impact, that kind of outlook. I can reassure you that that's definitely, it's not being played up in Lithuania. the Lithuanians read some of the very brief newspaper accounts, some of the stories, but definitely this is not a daily piece of conversation at the dinner table. And that probably proves only one thing, that we have to separate the personal lives from the public lives. And as far as I'm concerned, the American people definitely will have the final say in it. But personally, I believe that that should be separated, and I don't see any, as far as I'm concerned, any impact on international relationship at the present time. They're standing at the microphone, I'm sorry.
Mr. President, I feel like you may have addressed this a little bit earlier, but I am still a bit curious. Do you feel that perhaps, at least in part, the invitation for your nation, as well as several of the other Baltic states, to join NATO recently, maybe perhaps to protect the interest of certain NATO nations, financial investments in your country?
You know, your statement has something which I cannot deny, because at one international conference about half a year ago in Sweden, I was simply asked directly, I mean, why should NATO or United States get involved in that part of the world? Is there any logic, any reason for it? And I have responded, and I will probably respond that too. Definitely, there is no such reason that, I mean, we don't mind wherever the problem occurs, I mean, appear over there and fight for your ideals, for your freedom. No. The American and NATO interest is because they have the interest, involvement, they have their own property to protect, because today we are not fighting for territories. Today we are fighting for markets. And I believe the United States has a quite an interest in the world markets, and they are going to protect them if they will feel that they need to do this for their survival, for their interests.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Back to microphones.
We have time for only two more questions. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, recently there's been a lot of controversy in relations between the United States and the Republic of Belarus. How does Lithuania believe the United States should deal with the Republic of Belarus?
Yeah, that's a very, very touchy situation over there. We are dealing, I dare to say to all of you, with very unpredictable leader in that part of the world. Even being the direct neighbor, having the direct contacts with them, we are not certain what to expect next day, next morning. And
Lithuania to join NATO and European community.
What are the prospects?
What is prospect? What's possibility?
Well, I don't believe that anybody can respond to your question. I believe the summit in Washington will make the final decision if they are going to expand.
Production of the euro currency is fast approaching. I was curious as to what your opinion of the euro was, and how do you think it'll impact the Lithuanian economy?
It's coming. There is no question about it. I mean, if we like it or not, but the euro is the fact, and it's going to play the important role in European economics. As far as the Lithuania is concerned, we definitely right now committed to the US dollar. It's a very stable situation. And, but at the same time, I can say that we are getting ready to actually to join the rest of the Europe, but not simply, I mean, being only connected.
Thank the President very much for his speech. And
Thank you very much. Thank you.
As is customary, we have gifts for our speakers. We'd like to present.
Thank you very much, and let me reassure you, this will be the most memorable presentation in my life.
exit signs on the right.
Jake, get my bag. Ah.
Very sorry about this. This is, yes, it certainly has made a success.
Ja, das kann.
Would you like to take a ride? No. So I take it you've been to campus? You've been to campus?
Oh, yeah. The scale of these guys is impressive. I mean, I know in our country, so if your son studies some 60 miles away from you, no, I can't.
Kaip jiems padėti? Nu taip, bet išvažiuoja jie čia iškai.
Čia mano brolis Jonas, kuris dabar
Aš tik noriu, kaip galiu padėti, aš tai taip siūlau.
If everyone can sit down, the event is going to get underway because the president
I don't mind.
some time. So everyone, please sit down and be there.
University and also a professor in the history department. I have a 30-second story to tell, which is I think rather interesting. My wife, Barbara, grew up on the west side. Her mother was a Lithuanian background. Her father was Polish. And she, when she graduated from college in 1968, well, in November of 1968, she told me she had just had a very interesting conversation with a number of her students. She was an English teacher, but they had taught her out, and they told her that they were absolutely certain that in their lifetimes they would go back to visit a free Lithuania. And I remember the century in much better ways than we began it. With the collapse of the Berlin Wall and the freedom that came to Eastern Europe, it seems to me it's a much better way of ending the century than the assassination itself.
And that question came up many times. And I can tell you, I mean, nobody can or gave a reasonable answer for that. And I'm definitely in no position to respond to that, especially to the young people who are directly involved today. I hope that nobody should do that, what we just described. that as I indicated in my presentation over there, that there are some interests.
Curious what kind of ties that you've maintained with the American Lithuanian community since you have become president of Lithuania.
It's a very, very interesting question. I mean, very simply to answer that, it's very easy, because I spent 50 years in this country. I grew up here. I believe I consider myself part of this society because I gained and grew up in a democracy till midnight before I open up CNN or BBC or European news and watch what's going on in Europe. That's part of me. And I believe that definitely, I mean, the roots are very, very clearly established. I spent 50 years participating and fighting. I think I was fighting for the cause of freedom. And that takes another shape at the end of this century. And maybe this is going to become the reality. It's still, I mean, it's a question mark, but a strong beginning is there. Now, as far as Lithuania is concerned, I believe that this is something new and interesting enough that they are regained their independence. Lithuanian people are only in a
Surely with your work with the EPA and especially the history of the country having problems with dictation from another source of power dictating political economy, I was wondering if you're concerned merging or trying to enter into NATO for reasons of keeping policy indigenous and making sure that Lithuanians are executing policy and making the policy, or if you're afraid that perhaps the country might fall under there are some serious strings attached to policy dictation from external forces.
It's a very complicated question. I would like to simplify this NATO issue. As I indicated previously, I believe that integrated European concept of security is the primary moving probably factor for the people when they are talking about NATO, without any sacrifices, any dictates from one part or another. I mean, I believe that this is probably the instinct of security and recognizing that you cannot be secure in a present-day world by yourself, and trying to become the integrated partner, equal partner in protecting your own identity, own sovereignty, own nationality and then heritage. That's the driving force behind NATO. And I would like to leave at that level and that interpretation, because I don't think that it would be difficult, I mean, to take from your perspective the way you are trying to look into the NATO situation. And I don't have the real answer.
What will happen is that the Thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry, I cannot stay.
Thank you.
Pasirašė yra, ar mes esame dėl limito Niujorko konvencijos. Turbūt jau gerai susipažinęs su tais situacijais. Aš tai savo pusės norėčiau paraginti praktiškai jūs, ypatingai kai busit Vašingtone, o vėliau grįžus į Lietuvą, ypatingai aš esu už tai, kad mes vis tiek paskirti vieną, jeigu galima, kai kur strateginiai net ir du žmonės, kad jeigu grinai pilną laiką dirbtų komercinėje srityje, sudarytų kontaktus, tarpininkautų, būtų ryšininkai tarp jūsų ir nes priešingų atveju pagrindas viskam. Ir aš iš savo pusės galiu tik jiems užtikrinti, kad aš tikrai ieškosiu kelių, kad mūsų atstovybės ypatingai strateginiuose, tokiuose diplomatiniuose postuose tikrai turėtų žmonės pilną laiką dirbančius vien tik tai toj srityje. Kągi, aš nežinau, man be galo čia mes galėtume kalbėtis, bet laikas tas bėga, nežinau, pagal tvarką ir mes vėluojam turbūt, ne? Bet aš čia sekančiam pastate turbūt, kurie čia dirbs toliau. Gerai, ačiū. Tai tikrai parodė ir įtikino daugą, kurie buvo salėje, kad...
Bet lietuvis įtikino.
Kad ir amerikiečius reiškia to pačiu. Ačiū. Tai mes pasimatom, kad kur? Vilniuje? Gerai, laimingo kelio. Ačiū labai.
O mes, gerbiamas prezidentė, iki Vašingtono.
Iki Vašingtono. Labai gerai. Ačiū. Paroda, tai jie šitą paveikslą turėjo paskolinti ir buvo išvežtas kuriam laikui. Bet jis čia yra klubo nuosavybė.
O kiek metų jūs to klubo narys?
24 ir das sakė. Štai visuomet šitą begalą kultūrą man begalą patiko. Ramblys su puola tigrai. Čia buvo smarkiai pasislėpiama kartais gėrimą išgalvoje aplinkoje. Per gatvę tik reikdavo peršokti ir... So long, I believe I will have a chance again to see you.
Again?
Absolutely, yes. I'll be here. Oh, really? Absolutely.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. How are you?
Hi.
Good.
All good? Come on. Okay, well, come on through. Okay, come on.
Good to see you.
How are you?
Just really good. Have a luncheon? Oops. You guys go.
Hi. Nobody is around?
Yeah, they're waiting for you.
They're waiting for me, huh? Ken?
Val, welcome home.
Gosh, it's good to see you. How are you doing?
Oh, terrifically.
Great. Phil?
Congratulations. Wonderful speech yesterday. Good to see you.
Great.
Welcome back.
Čia mano konferencijos štabo kambarys. Sorry to interrupt, I mean that busy group. How are you doing?
Fine. How are you?
Okay.
So glad you could come today.
It's good to see you.
Oh, it's nice to see you.
It's my pleasure. How are you?
Okay.
Hi.
Mr. President, good to see you.
Your Excellency. Welcome. Come on, one after another. One more step. What's the next title? Good.
How are you? You just finished over in the Lake Club?
Yes, we had a very successful, very big meeting over here. Don't.
We were just finishing. We have things set up over on the side here for a little welcoming, and we can move over in that direction.
Okay, very good. And,
well, we're not going to make you work.
Very good.
I promise.
By the way, that's my press spokesman. That's the cameraman, my security man. I cannot get rid of them. I mean,
he looks like the
shadow. Let's put it this way. Oh, by the way, I mean, this is
David Ulrich.
Foreign
Minister.
Not exactly minister, but a foreign consul.
Ah, okay, very good.
And the national security.
Well, this is my press person.
Right.
Nice to meet you. And her assistant press person, Nancy.
Oh, you have many assistants. You
yeah. Tony, that's her community involvement.
Okay. I was looking for the moment to see you.
Your Excellency?
Great.
Yeah. Let's have some refreshments.
Yeah, come on down.
Oh my God. We didn't come in for refreshments, we came in to stay. I believe, can I show, I mean, that the time I spent, I mean, all the time
Bring
I
them to the
spent?
place.
How are you, Joe? How are you? Yeah, it's my pleasure. You look beautiful as usual. Hi, how are you doing?
Well, I'm not sure you're going to approve of all the decorations, Val, but I'm doing my best. Please come in.
Right here before we arrived.
Oh no, I picked that up yesterday over at the gathering.
Arrange everything.
Well, and I had those books from my visit last February.
Good.
I obtained over at the ministry. The lakes are still in good shape.
Yeah. Today it's a beautiful day, I mean, to see it.
Isn't it spectacular?
It's a spectacular. Štai čia yra kalėjimas. Reiškia, priešais, matot šičia. Ir man buvo visą laiką sakoma, reiškia, tik tai vienas, kaip sakant, blogas žingsnis, sako, kabinetas persikėlė tenai skersai gatvę.
Praktiškai ir pateko į kalėjimą. Tik labai gražu. Baltai rūmai ir taip toliau.
Čia kalėjimas?
Taip.
Prison, except it's a beautiful prison.
Bet čia toks...
Who's the chair here?
Please. Well, I will say, Val, I had to, Mr. President, excuse me,
No,
I did
that's
have to buy a new chair. He had worked so hard and he wore it out completely, and it would...
Maybe after 5 years you can solve an auction.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that.
This is David, for you to remember.
Oh.
This is from that university is right at this
Okay, I see.
Okay.
I see. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. That's beautiful.
Okay, presidential insignia. And,
much nicer than our building. It's, oh, great. Oh, that's great. That's the picture that's in the catalog, I think, isn't it? You look younger than I am in there, Val.
no. David.
Great. Thank you, sir. I greatly appreciate that. That was beautiful.
I believe I have.
President grows.
Yeah. 27 years here. And we enjoyed every minute of it. Fortunately, we realized